Hey babes, it's Zahirah. Today I am going to be doing this classic drag mug. Very high whore type of drag situation. Very great for, you know, the hosts of the cabaret. Very amazing for, I don't know, I think it's just very classic drag, you know what I mean? So I go very in-depth in this tutorial of how I do my face, the products that I use. I don't know, I just see this type of drag queen all the time and I love them. I love classic drag, you know what I mean? She's just giving me hostess down. Hostess down. She's the madame. She's got all the jewelry, she's got all the rhinestones up on everything. Every heel is rhinestoned. I feel very poised, very sophisticated kind of tea. Also, you know, if y'all are living for this type of lessons, tutorials, YouTube videos, comment down below what y'all want to see from me, what type of videos y'all want, more in-depth tutorials like this, different types of looks. Hey, if you recreate this look, then go and tag me on social media. Guys, the forecast today is 31 degrees. It is so hot. It's very hot. Guys, it is very hot in India. It is very hot in India.
Is it hot in India?
Is it hot in India? It is very hot in India.
The first thing that I'm gonna do is put on my contact lenses. I really feel like it makes such a difference in drag. And I'm gonna try and edit the audio as much as possible and make it better. However, I do have to have a fan on because I am melting already. First of all, some alcohol spray on a baby wipe, and I am just cleaning the eyebrows so that there's no sweat or skincare or oils in that area. The only one thing that I would trust to cover my eyebrows is the Elmer's glue stick. This is from Set. I stole a bunch of these. The first layer of this, I'm just smushing that around my eyebrows so that we get that all covered. And I'm using a scraggly eyebrow brush just to brush all of that product up, and that will help lay those brow hairs flat. I'm using the back end of the brush just to flatten that even more. I like to jump around my steps, so I'm literally going to be using the NYX glue primer. This has got tape on it. Face glue, the face glue. This is called the face glue. And for color corrector, I'm using the Huda Beauty color corrector in Papaya. This is like a brick to cover up the brick color. I've got a lot of grey, bluey tones on my skin, especially like around my 5 o'clock shadow area, so we want to cover that up. And depending on like how strong your 5 o'clock shadow is, the more you kind of want to think about using a color corrector. I'm just using my Trigger Powder Puff and a little bit of powder and pat that on top of the color corrector so that when you put your foundation on top, it doesn't mix in with the orange, neutralizing the skin with that warmth from the orange so that none of the blue, purpley, grey tones pop through as you put your foundation on. So it's literally just colour theory. In between all of these steps, by the way, I'm just putting on another layer of glue stick over my eyebrows. We're now just kind of brushing that up. For foundation, a lot of people use a pan stick. I am currently using the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Foundation in Natural Amber. This is for coverage and I love it. I love it. It's great. Very expensive, but I love it. This is like my summer color. It's very matte, it's very full coverage. I'm just tapping that into my skin. You want to blend that all the way down to the neck. You want to make sure to blend it a little bit on the ear. I'm more or less like tapping and pressing into the skin so that it really just seeps in there and most of the coverage will stay. And I'm not necessarily putting foundation on my under eye area because we're going to go in there with a lighter color. That's why we're going to be using the concealer. For my contour bronzer, I'm going to be using the Jordana Chisha Bronzer Duo in Tropical Temptation. This is fantastic. I tried this on a little short, and babe, it's literally incredible. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. I like to get a flat kind of brush. You see how this is kind of pinched? I dip in the product, I draw above my jawline so that it cuts the jawline. You see that? And on the chin, I like to draw a little bit of a V. Most cisgendered men, like myself, have a square jaw. So I like to V it out so that it's got more of a V-line shape, because more feminine features have a V to their face rather than a square in general. And then onto the cheekbone, I just like to draw a line like that, and as I said, the forehead, and under the lip, because it pouts, it brings the bottom lip forward, making it look bigger. That's all cute and everything. Now I'm going back in with like my foundation brush, not adding any more product or that cream contour on that, and I'm just tapping that contour into and blending, basically. This is my fourth layer of glue. Probably one more and then we're good. Just want to tap that in. And I love this because it's literally got the powder underneath it. So it's a 2-in-1 and we love that. It's great for traveling. We're gonna go in again with our loose powder. This is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake. And we're just going to press that onto our eyebrow and set the glue stick in place. So now we're going to go in with our Kryolan TV paint stick. This is in 070. It's very, very pale. This is not quite TV white. I'm putting that onto the chin, like a little dot. On the top lip. Under the eye. Onto the forehead. Down the bridge of the nose. And I'm just going to be using a sponge just to tap that into the face. Again, you just want to keep the coverage where you've popped the product on. And this is going to bring the light and dimension back into the face and bring all of those areas forward. If I'm not using the Kryolan TV paint stick, I'm using the Kimchi The Most Concealer in white. Just to demonstrate, I'm putting it under the contour just to pop it out a little bit. Product that I've recently added to my collection. MAC have sent me their multi-scoped matte in Taylor Grey, and this is what I use now to contour my nose because it is a more of a grey tone, which is perfect for the nose contour. On the perimeters of the face I can go quite warm, however for the nose you don't want that to be orange. So I literally just draw 2 lines where I want the contour to be, and I'm just doing the tip, and I'm using that on the tip as well. I'm using a tiny little shader brush. This is the E5 from P. Louise. You want to use a kind of like a smaller brush for this, and you want to draw in your nose contour. It's probably my least favorite part is doing the nose contour, you guys. So I'm just putting on a little bit of concealer just against the contour and a little bit through the center and brightening up the eye area and whittling the nose down a little bit more with that. I love blush. So I'm going to be using the Fine Cosmetics The Flush of Color Cream Blush in CB04. So it's this kind of like corally color. I'm just going to marry the cream contour and the highlight underneath the eyes, and I'm applying that in the intersection of it, just in between it. Putting cream or liquid blush before powder blush actually makes a huge difference. First of all, your blush is going to stay longer because blush is the first thing to disappear on somebody's face. So adding a background color for that means that your blush will last longer. I also put it on my chin because why? It just warms up the chin and it offsets my 5 o'clock shadow. That's why I do it, period. It looks like I'm sunburnt on the chin as well, which I like that look, so sorry about it. And I apply it onto the tip of the nose as well. I'm gonna go ahead with my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder. Babe, it is the GOAT. Like, I will not really use any other powder apart from it. It's just what works for me, and it's the best powder, babe. What can I say? Apart from Huda Beauty, I like the Givenchy one, but they've changed the formula. So the only one out in the market right now that I would recommend fully with my heart and my soul is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake. It's expensive, but I love it. You want to use a big powder brush with a little bit of the loose powder on the brush, and you want to use that to blend out all of that loose powder. For powder bronzer, I'm using MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in Dark Deepest. I love these powders so much. They're a baked formula, and it just has more of a real look than a super matte bronzer. This is matte, but because it's a baked product, it just makes it look a little bit more like skin. And I'm just applying that everywhere that I applied the cream contour color, and it's just gonna warm up the face. This is not my contour color per se, this is just my bronzer color, just to warm up the face. Now I'm gonna be using the powder side of my Jordana T-shirt bronzer duo. I'm using a smaller brush, a little bit tighter, and I'm gonna use that to contour. I honestly cannot recommend this bronzer enough. It is so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. You want to use a tighter brush for your contour. I went from this bronzer brush to this. This is the PC04, and then the smaller one is the PC17 from Peaches and Cream. You want to use a tighter brush to get in to your contours because you want them to be defined. Again, powder contour in the under the lip. And on the forehead, I just use, to be honest, whatever is left, just to kind of marry the tones together, but I don't go like super heavy on my forehead. For my nose contour, I'm literally using this more cooler toned eyeshadow, and I'm just going to set the nose contour and kind of bringing it up to the eye socket so that it all marries down. So that's kind of like the start of our eyeshadow a little bit. I'm gonna go back in with some loose powder and just cut the cheek and let that bake whilst we do our eyes. We're gonna go back into the skin later on, but for now I'm kind of like baking these areas a little bit. That just kind of reinforces the powder, and when you let it bake, it means that these sort of highlight tones just pop a lot more when you brush it off. For my eyebrows, I'm going to be using the Brow Zings by Benefit. I'm just going to mix in a few of these shades and draw my eyebrows on. Okay, with eyebrows, I think a lot of us struggle with eyebrows. So do I. Honestly, so do I. I really struggle with them. Basically, I start where my natural eyebrow would start, where we covered them, because I know we're changing the anatomical features of our face, okay? But there's gotta be something that grounds it, and brows is one of those things because they do frame your eyes and they frame the face. Unless you're going for some crazy, you know, cookie kind of drag, I suggest starting where your natural eyebrow bone starts, okay? And you can draw in any shape from then on. Generally, a good way to think about where your eyebrow should start is where your nostril ends is where your brow should start, or a little bit closer, not too close because that's crazy. Arch it to the end of your pupil and the tail should be at the end of your eyeline. That's a general gist. It's not always going to be the case for every single eyebrow look. You know, you could be doing like a 1920s eyebrow, you could be doing a character brow, you know what I mean? So that's just kind of like a general guideline. So we've got a general eyebrow shape down, and then I'm going to draw the top line of the eyebrow. And then on the inner, I like to just fade it in so that it's not super blocky. You can stop there, but I like to draw brow strokes. So I'm using the Fine Strokes brow pen in Cool Espresso, and I'm gonna just draw little brow strokes. And the trick with this is just go for it. You can't be there taking your time and trying to draw super perfected brow hairs, because then it actually ends up looking worse. Probably not, even if I'm gonna be real with you, but you know what, that's what happens in it. I'm gonna go back in with my The Most concealer by Kimchi Chic, and I'm going to be cleaning up the eyebrows with this. You want to use a flat brush. This is the Morphe one. You can use a flat concealer brush or a flat liner brush and just kind of go ahead and carve out those eyebrows. This will be like our brow highlight. If you've made any mistakes with your eyebrows, this will just kind of clean it all up and hide those mistakes. So I have this palette, which is a magnetic palette from Temu, and I've filled it up with all of my eyeshadows. These are my reds, oranges, and purples from Be Perfect. I just depotted a bunch of Be Perfect eyeshadow palettes. These are my yellows, greens, and blues. And then underneath are all of my neutrals. So this has got eyeshadows from Sunkissed Cosmetics, Jordana Tisha, and also Be Perfect, okay? So I'm gonna use this white one from Sunkissed Cosmetics, I believe. This is my big white eyeshadow. My big white eyeshadow. And I'm just going to set the eyebrows with that. You can see I go through that eyeshadow a lot. I've already hit pan, so I need to get a new one. I'm gonna go in with this warm brown eyeshadow, and I'm going to marry the brow bone color with what's going to be our new crease. We're gonna use this brown, this deeper brown color, and I'm drawing in a V on the outer corner. I'm also going to apply that to the kind of outer half of the lid. Use another blending brush and go back in with that warm brown mid-tone color so that it helps blend that and marry that into the brow bone. I'm gonna go in with that big black eyeshadow, and you want to deepen and smoke out all of these tones. You want to go back in with your concealer again, multi-purpose product. Get some of that. You want to use a flat concealer brush and do a half cut crease. You can see it's just cleaned that up and opened the eyes up a lot more. It just looks better. I'm going to set my lid with this silver eyeshadow and just apply that where you've put that concealer down. I'm literally just using my finger, you guys. Just use your finger. You can use a brush if you want. Going back with a little bit of the dark brown just to blend on the intersection between the shadow and the crease. This is another palette from Temu, and this has got my blushes and bronzers, a colourful eyeshadow palette again, and my glitters. How fun! These are all my glitters, and these are from, this one is from Take Two Cosmetics. So these are some of my favourite glitters. This is in the shade Medusa. You just pop your finger in a little bit. This doesn't require any glue. Just pop it onto your eye. Okay, so now I'm going to be using the Graph Ink Black Milk Liner from Made by Mitchell. I'm following the shape from the crease colour that we've done, and I'm just drawing a wing all the way out and bringing it back towards the lid. I've just drawn an inner corner wing. I've done that off camera because it's really difficult to do. So, to clean up a little bit of this outer eyeshadow area and make the liner super crisp, I just like to put on a little bit of the concealer from before, the Kimchi Most concealer. Apply that to the outer corner of the wing and just offset that with the black liner that you've just put on. So there's a little trick. If you go a little bit haphazard, put on too much product, you've not been precise, just gonna clean that up. This is a great trick, just so that that's like super nice, sharp and clean. So I'm gonna go back in with the same tones of eyeshadow that we put on top of the eye onto the lower lash line. So the mid brown, the dark brown and the black. Get a black waterline pencil. You can do white, you can do black, you could do whatever. I'm just using the NYX Epic Wear liner stick in pitch black and just apply that to the waterline. I'm going to swap to a pen liner. This is Love Liner Liquid, and I'm going to offset and draw another tiny little wing next to my inner corner wing so that it's like a double. I'm going to be using the 17 Whites liquid eyeliner. NYX do a really good one as well, made by Mitchell do a really nice one. And I'm going in between those two black lines in the inner corner. And then on top of that, to tie in the glitter from the top, I'm using the Glisten to Your Heart glitter eyeliner in Silver Spark from P. Louise. And I'm literally just going to kind of, I guess, set the white liquid liner. The white liquid liner serves as a background color so that the glitter liner can pop on top. So I've just popped on my Benefit Fan Fest mascara on the top and bottom lashes. So I get these lashes from Amazon. I do different lashes, you guys, but these are the ones that I'm going to put on. So they come like this, but I've stacked and styled these lashes to look like this instead. I just think very draggy, very draggy. How I like to put on my lashes is with tweezers. So first thing that I do is apply the inner corner to closest to my lash line. So just place that, and then on the outer half I like to lift to where the end of my eyeliner is so that it lifts the eye, so it doesn't drag the eye down. Again, place the inner corner and then on the outer corner. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now back onto the skin. I'm just brushing off that bake that we put on from earlier. I'm actually going to go ahead with my Rare Beauty Always an Optimist 4-in-1 mist. And I'm just using this to melt down all of the powders. This just melts in all the powder so we can put more powder on without looking crazy, without looking cakey. If your powders are looking patchy McPatch or looking crazy McCrazy, you want to melt those powders in a little bit before you add on more powders, because we put on a lot of powder for drag. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just reinforce some of my contours with my Jordana t-shirt bronzer a little bit. Okay, for blush, I'm using the Sephora Colourful Blush in number 6 Flirt It Up, which is a pretty good match to the cream blush that we put on earlier. I'm quite liberal with the blush. I love colour on my face, what can I say? Y'all can obviously lessen the blush, but I do recommend putting on blush. I love colour on the face. I'm gonna go in with my Kylie pressed powder blush in Pink Dreams. And this is gonna be like the transitional colour of our blush. More blush, you know? The more blush that you put on, I don't know, it makes me feel better about myself. For my under eye area, I'm gonna go with the other side of my powder puff. Use my MAC NC10 Studio Fix Powder Foundation. If you want a product that's actually available to you, the Revolution. This is the Revolution Powder Pops. They do different shades, but this is the... This is the lighter shade. So get the lighter shade. I think this is translucent. You can see it's a pretty good color match. So get the translucent one. With the MAC NC10, you just want to go right under the eyes next to the nose contour and just pack that in and just really press that in. And this is gonna look powdery, but you just want to lay it down. You just want to lay that product down on the chin, on the mouth, nose bridge. I'm reinforcing all of those highlights, you know? And on the forehead. And I'm going in with my brush from before, the same brush, and just I'm pressing that into the skin. And because we put on that Rare Beauty mist, this was not a setting spray, this is a fixing mist. This is not a setting spray. That comes later on. This is just to melt in all of the powders. Press that down and you blend that out. You press that down and you blend it out. And it keeps the product where you've popped it on. My shimmer highlight, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty How Many Carats Diamond Bomb. And I'm using my finger again. And I'm just tapping that in. You see that? On stage. This is fantastic. And this is expensive, however, I bought this years ago. And I mean years. And I've been using this in season 6. And I've still not hit pan. On the nose bridge, just on the top of the nose bridge, just there. And a little bit on the tip of the nose, just a tiny little bit. Just to pick it up. And then, if you like to be extra, just a little bit on top of the eyebrow. Parallel to the cheek highlight, you know? Just kind of sickening to you. Like, I'm really, like, feeling it, you guys. Like, I'm really just, like, feeling everything right now. And I'm just feeling the effects of drag. I'm gonna be using the brown dip liner graphic. And I'm gonna draw in my beauty marks. This is optional. But I love my beauty marks. Sometimes I've done my face without my beauty marks. When I forget, I don't look like me. I'm trying to figure it out, and it's because I've not drawn my dots. So I love drawing my dots. For my lip liner, I'm going to be using Brick Lip Liner from MAC. This is like a darker red color. And I'm going to draw in hills and connect it back onto my lip. So you can see I'm drawing a V way above my natural lip. My natural Cupid's bow is here. And I'm drawing it all the way up here, which is crazy. I'm drawing it all the way down here, even though my lip line is naturally here. So it's quite a step down. If you're doing a red lip, I recommend a liquid lip for drag, because otherwise it's going to be smudging everywhere. Power Matte Lip Pigment in Star Woman. You want to shake this up. This is the same red lip that Katya uses. I got it because of Katya, and it's... I'm sorry, that's fierce. That's fierce. That is the makeup done. The last step that is crucial to end your makeup is use your Urban Decay All-Nighter. You can use your L'Oreal, your Crayon setting spray, and just set the face. Okay, now that the makeup's done, I'm gonna put on my drag and I'm gonna come back. It's very, very hot. Period. This is the final look, you guys. I just put on my blue gown, rhinestone, all of this, my jewelry, my wig on. This wig is from howsyourheadwigs.com. Love their wigs. I've worn them both on season 6 and on UK vs. the World season 3. Love their wigs so much. They're beautiful. If you want like drag go-tos, they're very, very, very good. I mean, yeah, this look is beautiful. It's just very, very classic drag. Great for hosting. Great for, you know, you're the karaoke nights. If you're a singer, like, I don't know, it's just... I know when I look at myself right now, I know this type of drag queen. If you like this video, you guys, go and give it a thumbs up, comment down below. It's very hot right now, okay? So I'm gonna see you guys on my next video, and I love you guys. Mwah.